The $13 billion Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier was sent to the Mediterranean because of the situation in Israel. This is the world's largest ship equipped with advanced weapon systems, the best ship defense system, and 90 maneuverable fighters that are ready to attack at any second. Gerald Ford is accompanied by an equally dangerous cruiser and 4 destroyers with nuclear missiles, as well as a reinforced U.S. air group.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Oh yeah, you heard them right. The Gerald Ford is heading over to the Middle East. That's not really the big news about that particular battle group. 2 of their ships carry nuclear weapons. There's reports coming out that Iraq proxy fighters are now fighting out of Syria. So when I hear the words like Syria and nuclear weapons, it sends me back to what I spoke about before. A possible nuclear war starting out of Syria. It's very possible. Another thing that's starting to make me feel like this is very possible is the fact that Gavin Newsom has been traveling all around the world, visiting different world leaders. Well, why the hell would he be doing that? Unless he is reassuring them that whatever plan they had is going to move forward. To me, this looks like they're going to make a play to try to get Gavin Newsom into the White House. Well, how is that possible? He's not a candidate. He's not a vice president. He's just a governor. There is a situation that can take place that would allow Gavin Newsom to slip right into the presidential position without even having to go into an election. The continuity of a government. Remember, the one thing that triggers that, somebody gets a hair up their butt and decides to drop a nuke, that automatically suspends our Constitution, allows the continuity of a government. And I know there's a guy out there telling everybody we're still in a continuity of government. That's not true. His idea of what a continuity of a government is not the same thing. A continuity of a government says that our Constitution is suspended and they have the right then to handpick who they want to be the leader of this country with no elections, no ifs, ands, or buts. But like I said, in order for that to happen, a nuke bomb has to drop. Just let that sink in. Now that the bad news is out of the way, let's get into the good news. Let's talk about the high probability of a revaluation taking place here real soon with the Iraqi Dinar. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. One more time as a reminder.
The $13 billion Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier was sent to the Mediterranean because of the situation in Israel. This is the world's largest ship equipped with advanced weapon systems, the best ship defense system, and 90 maneuverable fighters that are ready to attack at any second. Gerald Ford is accompanied by an equally dangerous cruiser and 4 destroyers with nuclear missiles.
Yes, with nuclear missiles. So remember I was saying I hope Iraq stays out of the fray, stays away from all these conflicts, doesn't get involved, and just goes about their business. My concern is they're not going to be able to do that. Biden is hell-bent on attacking Iran. Some of you might remember this. There was a gentleman who was working, I believe, with President Bush, the second one. And he said they went into a meeting, and when they came out, He had mentioned that there was 6 countries on their list that they were going to target. Basically, it was all the countries that did not have a Rothschild central bank. So it was like Cuba, Libya, Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan. And sure enough, we've been to war with most of them. The other thing is, if you guys remember, Putin paid off all their debt to the Rothschilds and then kicked them out of Russia. Now, they do have a central bank, but it's not controlled by the Rothschilds. My concern is they're going to use this as an excuse to drop a bomb on somebody. And a lot of innocent people are going to die, furthering this agenda along on helping depopulate the earth as well as push their agenda. But it's not going to be a full-on, full-fledged nuclear war. It's just going to be 1 or 2 bombs dropped like they did in Japan. Although that was an atomic bomb. Anyways, let's just move on. It's just a lot of things on my mind about this situation. The battle groups that are over there now, I believe there's 4. Most people don't realize that the United States is currently involved in 22 conflicts. So, like I said, these battle groups that are over there are a major concern to me just because of the types of weapons they're carrying. All right, enough with all the negative stuff. Let's get to the good stuff, shall we? So the dollar is flying fast and registering at 1,620 dinars for every dollar. That is a huge gap between fixed rate of 1,320. Does anybody remember the last time we started to see the gap between the fixed exchange rate versus the parallel exchange rate? Do you guys remember we started seeing articles pop up about this out of control black market rate? Think about why I talk about this. Said the price of the US dollar on Tuesday fell against the Iraqi dinar in the markets in Baghdad with the closure of the stock exchange. Dollar prices with the closure of the main stock exchange in Baghdad were 1,620 dinars for every dollar, while prices this morning were 1,610 dinars for every dollar. The sales price in the local markets in Baghdad also increased, as the sale price reached 1,630 dinars for every dollar, while the purchasing amounted to 1,610 dinars for every dollar. Iraq is going to have to do something very soon about this situation. They can't keep allowing this to get out of control. It's causing inflation. It's really hurting their ability to control the value of the dinar. And that's also affecting the economy. Let me remind you of the last time the Iraqi dinar exchange rate started getting out of control on a parallel market versus the fixed market. After moderating in 2022, consumer price inflation ticked up in the early 2023. Fueled by the depreciation of the Iraqi dinar in the parallel market. The June 2022 emergency law for urgent needs for food security and energy imports helped curb headlines and core inflation to 5 and 4.3% in 2022, respectively. Tighter enforcement of financial reporting standards for Central Bank of Iraq dollar auction since November of 2022 caused a supply-demand mismatch of dollars and led to the depreciation of the Iraqi dinar in the parallel market, pushing inflation to 7.2% year over year in January 2023. In response to the currency depreciation, the Central Bank of Iraq revalued the Iraqi dinar in February of 2023 to 1,300 dinars for every dollar, up by 10.3%. Inflation and the parallel market rate depreciation have since moderated, but the gap over the official rate remains significant, highlighting persisting exchange rate pressures. So the last time we started to see this type of gap between the fixed rate and the black market rate, Iraq was forced to increase the value of dinar to try to stabilize the Iraqi dinar. So is it possible that Iraq is going to be forced once again to increase the value of the Iraqi dinar in order to help close the gap between the fixed Iraqi exchange rate versus the parallel market? The Prime Minister al-Sadini said one of the biggest causes of the gap is due to speculators. Unfortunately for him, the biggest cause of this gap are people within his own government, within the coordinating framework, the 2 that own banks. They make millions off the black market. This allows them to gather US dollars and send them over to where they're not supposed to be, in Iran, which is another reason why I think Iraq is going to have a hard time avoiding any conflict with the United States. As a matter of fact, Iraq is having a hard time halting the attacks against US soldiers over there in Iraq. and this would be an excuse for Biden to send troops over there on the ground, claiming he has to do something about these attacks against U.S. soldiers. And the fact that the government within Iraq are all Iranian-backed politicians. That's the connection between Iraq and Iran that could get Iraq in trouble. So the last time we've seen this big of a gap between the official fixed rate of the Iraqi dinar versus the black market rate, Iraq was forced to increase the value of the Iraqi dinar in order to stabilize the currency. In my opinion, if this keeps getting out of control, I don't think they're going to have any choice but to do the same thing again. Now keep in mind, the Iraqi dinar, before it was devalued, you got 1,190 dinars for every dollar. It dropped down to 1,450 dinars for every dollar. Then they increased it to where you get 1,300 dinars for every dollar. So if they go to make a move again, is it possible they finally bring us back to where we started from at 1,190 dinars for every dollar? It almost looks unavoidable at this moment. There's so many things happening, so many things taking place. Al-Sudini is having a real tough time stabilizing this currency. We got elections coming up here soon. Al-Sudini has been taking many good steps to warrant an opportunity to be the prime minister once again. But if he doesn't control that currency, it'll destabilize the economy as well as the currency itself. And this is not going to go over very well with the people of Iraq. If he increases the value of the Iraqi dinar, that gives the people of Iraq a little bit more of purchasing power, at the same time stabilizing the currency and hopefully closing that gap between the fixed exchange rate versus the parallel rate. We're definitely going into some interesting times in our lives. But Iraq right now, man, I hope they just stay out of this altogether. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Nothing's worse than we feel like we're getting that much closer to increases in the Iraqi dinar, only to have this kind of crap happen, and we start all over from square one. Keep your fingers crossed. I just thought it'd be interesting to bring this to your attention. The gap between the fixed exchange rate versus the black market is widening. And I remember that the last time we saw that, Iraq was forced to increase the value of the Iraqi dinar. So it's very possible between now and the end of the year, we could see an increase in the exchange rate. Nothing significant, but at least it's going in the right direction. Like I said, they're going to go up in increments. If they choose to go up, at least they can do us a favor and take us back to where we originally started. 1,190 dinars for every dollar. I would love to see a better exchange rate than that, but I'll take it. That's twice in 1 year. That's going in the right direction. This is exactly what we would want. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you think. That's all I have for now. I look forward to your comments, and I'll catch you later. I'm out.